Hey, this is Mad Movie Mark with a Mad Movie Mark movie review. Thank you for joining me as I review the 2007 Japanese horror comedy movie One Cut of the Dead. Hey, I feel that's a lot of mixed messaging there. I'm not sure how to take that. One Cut of the Dead is actually a very hilarious movie. Now, I will admit that horror movies are not my wheelhouse. I usually shy away from horror movies, but this one's 100% fresh, and I feel like that is incredibly rare. So I was all in. I went to this all in with this movie, and like I said, there's one character that's absolutely hilarious, and the way this movie is paced and the order in which it is given to you, I think is pretty genius. It's not something that I've ever seen before, and I thought it was just a really good movie all the way through. So essentially, this movie is about a director who is very intent on making a horror movie that is just greatly acted. The acting is just dripping off of these actors. They're just giving their greatest performance they've ever given before, and it's a zombie movie. So in the beginning, he has one of the actors being attacked by a zombie, and then he yells cut, and he kind of berates the girl for not giving a great enough acting performance. He didn't believe that she was scared. He didn't believe that she put her all into this performance. So they take a break, and then essentially what happens is that a real zombie attack befalls these characters, and it was all set up by the director. He said that he spread some blood on the ceiling because this building is known to be haunted, and this building is known for things like zombie attacks. So he spread a bunch of blood on the ceiling so that it would attract some zombies, so that he would get real acting out of these people. He would get real emotions. When they saw the zombies, they would really be scared. They would really be terrified. They'd be running for their lives, and he'd be there shooting it with a camera. And it's hilarious because these people are actually terrified. They're running for their lives. They are afraid that they're going to be killed by a zombie, and then he'll jump into a scene and he'll be with the camera and he'll be like, action. He'll start filming it, which is absolutely hilarious. I thought it was so funny. His character is so good in this movie. And then after that, so I don't want to spoil anything. I usually do spoilers for these type of reviews, but this movie is so unique that if I spoil it, it's really going to ruin the entire thing if you haven't seen it before, because basically it goes into a description of how the original movie, before it was attacked by zombies, how it was supposed to be made, how the actors were hired to come in, and then there's a twist, and there's a couple of twists here and there, and when you're watching the movie in the beginning, the first half an hour, where before they start talking about how the actors were casted and stuff, and you're just watching these zombie attacks happen in front of you, and you're just watching these people get killed off left and right, there's scenes where you're like, okay, that scene went on a little bit too long and it didn't show me all of the action, or you're like, that was a really awkward exchange that those two people had. I don't understand why that happened. Is it just sloppy writing, or is it bad acting, or what's going on? Why does this movie seem so uneven at times? But then later on, you figure out why these scenes were uneven. You figured out why the scenes were too long, and it's actually genius. It's actually really funny, and it's just the way they lay it out for you is perfect, and it's a very enjoyable movie to watch. And I don't say that a lot about zombie movies. In fact, I just watched it was Soul something, that was an animated movie that was about zombies, and it was absolutely Soul Station. I thought it was absolutely terrible. The way the whole thing was bad. but this movie is great. It's funny. It's well acted. And the guy who plays the director, who jumps in and yells like "action," is just hilarious. When he does that, you're not expecting it because you're so like into these scenes of these people running, scared for their lives, that at times I forgot that he was even there. And he comes in with a camera and he's following people around. He's like, "Yeah, that's the action shot right there. That's the drama. That's what I want." It's like he's so like there's these zombies killing people and all he cares about is getting the right shot. But he's also he's not afraid for his life either, which you will learn later on why that is. He's just so willing to dodge in and out of these scenes with his camera with zombies all around. It's just hilarious. And then later in the movie, when they explain like who these people are and why they're in the movie and why they were casted for what they are, his role is actually he's no longer funny and he's actually serious, and he plays a very pivotal role in the entire creation of this movie, behind the scenes that you don't see in that first 37 minutes. And he's probably my favorite character in the whole movie just because of how versatile he is, how much he is relied on in this movie, how funny he is. He's just absolutely perfect. There's a few other characters in the movie. There's this girl who is one of the ones who's attacked by the zombie, and this guy who also, it seems like at some point they were supposed to be a couple maybe, because she has feelings for him, it would seem. But they're both really good in this movie too. The movie really takes shape after like the first 37 minutes, and you really start realizing what's going on. So like, if you're watching it and you're saying, well, this isn't that good in like the first half an hour, there's all these flaws in it, there's things that are funny, but like they shouldn't be there. You gotta give it time, because it does eventually get to the point where it explains everything, and the payoff is really, really quite good. And the ending is also, the ending is perfect. It doesn't take too long. It doesn't go anywhere that it shouldn't go. It's perfectly paced. It's exactly what you thought it would be. And I thought this was just an enjoyable movie. Like I said, I usually shy away from horror movies because to me they're all the same. And a good portion of my life, when I started watching movies, when I really started getting into movies, horror movies were all found footage stuff. It was all like Blair Witch stuff where it's shaky cam, found footage. And that's when I was really starting to get into horror movies, or into movies, where I was really starting to watch them a lot and starting to love movies. And the found footage stuff was just stuff that I really hated. And the shaky camera stuff was really was something that I really didn't enjoy, because at the end of every movie, it's always just everyone dies and a camera is found and they're going through the camera. That's pretty much the entire movie of every found footage movie I've ever seen. I just got so tired of it. I was just so over it that I just wrote off horror movies forever. And I'm not even sure if like this is really a horror movie or if it's more of a comedy. It could also be like a comedy, like drama. The first half an hour is definitely horror, but then after that, there's nothing really that is urgent. There's nothing scary. There's nothing that you are like terrified for someone's life, that someone's not going to live or someone's going to die. There's nothing coming around the corner. There's nothing popping out at you. So like the first 30 minutes, sure, it is a horror movie, but then after that, it's more of like a comedy drama. But either way, I thought they married the genres together very well. Like I said, this is a type of movie that I've never seen before, and I really enjoyed it. And I hope that I get to see other movies like this as well. I mean, this is probably like a diamond in the rough type of movie where it's not going to be made again, or something like this is not going to be made again. But it's unusual finding like new stuff in Hollywood, especially when you get to like the later 2000s, where there's all this Marvel stuff coming out. But this is actually very unique, and it's very good, and I enjoyed it. And I will say that after that first 30 something minutes where everyone's dying, and then the part where it starts explaining like who these people are, there was when one starts and one ends, it does get a little boring. I will say that, because I'm not really sure where they're going with this. I'm not really sure what they're doing. I was a little bored by it, but it ended up picking up, and it ended up working itself out, and it was fine. But I thought this movie was really good. I've seen like some vague reviews of this movie that didn't give away a lot of it. And it seems like a lot of people really love this movie. Like they think it's one of the best movies ever made. It's like the best thing since sliced bread. I'm not going to go that far. I think it's a great movie. I think it's really well done. But I mean, there's other movies out there that are better. Not maybe in this genre, but in other genres. It's not like one of the greatest movies I've ever seen in my life. But anyway, it's an 8.5. That's what I'm going to give it, an 8.5 out of 10. And the next movie that I'm going to review is actually, I think, the only other horror movie on this list. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there'll be some later. I don't go that far ahead. But it's called Creep 2. I've never seen Creep 1, but I did do a little reading, and it doesn't seem like I need to know Creep 1 to watch Creep 2. So my next review is going to be Creep 2. My hope is that will either be tomorrow or Sunday, but don't hold me to that. I've done 6 reviews this week already. I usually try to do 4 a week, so I've already kind of gone over what I normally try to do, but I'm going to try to pump this next one out either Saturday or Sunday. So 8.5 out of 10 on One Cut of the Dead. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.